It was supposed to be just another busy afternoon at the Grand, five-star hotel downtown. Staff bustled through the marble lobby, checking in guests and tending to VIPs. Then she walked in an elegant Chinese woman dressed in designer clothes, her presence calm but commanding. Heads turned. Clearly she was someone important, but as she approached the front desk, a strange tension filled the room. The receptionist smiled politely, but confusion quickly crept in. No one could understand a word she was saying. Mandarin, Cantonese, it didn't matter. None of the staff spoke her language. She tried again, her voice growing frustrated, her hands motioning toward something only she understood. Still, nothing. Guests nearby whispered and stared, some assuming she was just being difficult. Others even chuckled. The woman's face dropped not out of anger, but something else. Something deeper. She looked helpless, lost in a foreign place with no one willing or able to understand her. Just then, a maid quietly stepped out from behind a hallway, an older black woman in a simple uniform, pushing a cart of towels. She hesitated for a second, then said something in fluent Mandarin. Everyone froze. What happened next left the entire hotel stunned. They had dismissed both women moments before. The truth about who this Chinese woman really was, and how the maid knew her language, would turn the entire situation on its head. But none of them were ready for the twist that was about to unfold. The entire lobby fell silent as the black maid, whose name tag read Gloria, calmly continued speaking in Mandarin. The Chinese woman's eyes widened in surprise, then softened with relief. They exchanged a few words, quickly, comfortably, like two people who had just discovered an unexpected connection in a place that had felt cold just moments before. The hotel manager looked confused, awkwardly motioning for another staff member to step forward. But by then, the woman was already engaging fully with Gloria, pointing toward her bag and showing her something on her phone. Whispers spread through the lobby. How does she know Chinese? A guest muttered. Is she translating? Another asked. Gloria kept her focus, never raising her voice or showing off. It was clear she wasn't doing this for attention, but something about the Chinese woman's expression hinted that this moment was far more important than anyone realized. The truth was, this guest wasn't just wealthy, as she was someone of global importance. What she had been trying to communicate wasn't just a request for a room. It was something urgent. And Gloria, who most people overlooked in the hotel, had instantly earned her trust. Meanwhile, hotel management scrambled behind the scenes, unsure how to handle what was quickly becoming a very unusual situation. Who was this guest really? And how did Gloria, a maid with no formal language badge or recognition, speak fluent Mandarin so naturally? What secret was connecting these two women, and why now? In this hotel, Gloria led the Chinese woman away from the crowd, guiding her toward a quieter seating area near the lounge. Hotel staff watched, unsure if they should step in, but no one moved. The manager whispered nervously into his headset, asking security to monitor the situation. He still had no idea who the woman really was, or why she refused to speak to anyone else but the maid. Behind the scenes, whispers turned into speculation. Some staff assumed Gloria had lived abroad, others guessed she'd picked up the language from working with international guests, but the truth was, no one really knew Gloria's story. She came in quietly, did her job with care, and kept to herself. She'd worked there for years, invisible to most but clearly not ordinary. Back in the lounge, the woman introduced herself as Miss Lian, slipping Gloria a slim embossed card. Gloria's eyes narrowed as she read the name, recognizing it. Instantly, Lian wasn't just a millionaire, she was connected to a powerful Chinese business group rumored to be scouting discreet investment properties abroad. She had come unannounced, testing the waters. But something had gone wrong. Her luggage had been tampered with. One of her assistants hadn't shown up, and she believed someone was following her. Gloria listened quietly, her calm expression hiding the fact that she, too, was starting to feel uneasy. She glanced back toward the front desk, where management still hovered, clueless and concerned more about appearances than safety. Something bigger was happening, and neither woman was as alone as they looked. Gloria leaned in slightly, her voice low as she asked Miss Lian for more details. The millionaire's fingers trembled as she unlocked her phone and showed taken quickly, showing a man in a gray suit standing outside the airport earlier that day. He was waiting there, she said in Mandarin, but he wasn't part of my team. Gloria studied the image, her instincts sharpening. Something wasn't right. At that moment, the assistant manager approached, trying to mask his nerves with a forced smile. Is everything all right, ma'am? He asked, glancing between Gloria and Miss Lian. Before Gloria could answer, Miss Lian stiffened. She whispered, "That's him, the suit. Same build." Gloria's eyes narrowed. The assistant manager froze, sensing the sudden tension but not understanding a word. Gloria stood up calmly and said, "We need a private room, now." Her voice was firm, no longer just the quiet maid, but someone taking control. The assistant hesitated, then nodded and gestured them toward a side hallway. As they moved, Gloria noticed a tall man seated near the elevators, sunglasses on indoors, pretending to read a magazine. He wasn't reading. He was watching inside the private meeting room. Miss Lian's hands shook as she revealed more documents missing from her briefcase. Encrypted files she'd planned to share with a confidential investor. Gloria listened closely, heart pounding. She wasn't just helping a guest anymore. She was caught in something far bigger. And out there, someone didn't want this meeting to happen. Gloria locked the door behind them, pulling the curtain shut. Miss Lian sat on the edge of the couch, clutching her purse like it was the only thing she could trust. The tension in the room felt heavier by the second. Just as Gloria began to ask about the missing documents, Miss Lian's phone buzzed. Unknown number. She stared at it, her face pale. The message, when she opened it, was only 3 words. You're not safe. Gloria stepped closer. You need to let me see everything, she said. Miss Lian hesitated, then opened her purse and pulled out a thin black folder, half empty. These were the original files, she whispered. Now half are gone. These are just summaries, not the real data. Gloria flipped through them, and what she saw made her blood run cold. The documents weren't about business investments. They were about people names, background checks, offshore accounts. Some of the names were under American jurisdiction. High-profile names. Suddenly, a sharp knock echoed from the hallway door. Too sharp, too precise, not housekeeping. Gloria gestured for Miss Lian to stay silent. The knock came again, followed by a man's voice, familiar. It's me, David, from the embassy. Miss Lian's eyes widened. He's not from the embassy, she whispered in Mandarin. He's the one who followed me in Hong Kong. Now, Gloria knew. This wasn't just a business trip gone wrong. Someone powerful was tracking Miss Lian, and whatever she carried could ruin more than reputations. It could destroy entire alliances. Gloria took a breath, her mind racing. Whoever was outside that door wasn't here to help, they were here to silence. She guided Miss Lian quietly toward the service exit in the back of the room, a narrow hallway. Only staff used. Gloria knew every inch of the hotel, every shortcut and hidden passage. It was their only chance. They moved fast, hearts pounding, Miss Lian gripping the folder tightly. The man outside knocked again, harder this time. Miss Lian opened the door now. We need to talk. His voice had lost its calm. Gloria didn't look back. She led Miss Lian through the laundry room and down a side stairwell just as 2 men in suits turned the corner upstairs. One of them matched the man from the photo. Down in the basement level, Gloria reached for her old locker. She yanked it open and pulled out a small phone, one she hadn't used in years. She typed in a number from memory and said only one sentence when it picked up. She's here, and it's happening again. Then she hung up. Miss Lian looked at her, confused. Before she could ask, a black SUV pulled up to the back entrance. 3 individuals stepped out, 2 in plain clothes, one with a discreet badge tucked into his belt. Gloria Brown. The lead man said, You're authorized to transfer the asset. Miss Lian looked stunned. Asset. Gloria finally spoke, calm and clear. I was never just a maid. I used to work intelligence. She turned to Miss Lian. And you just walked into a silent war. But don't worry, you're not alone anymore. The SUV doors swung open, and Gloria gently guided Miss Lian inside. As they pulled away from the hotel, the suited men who had been following stood helpless in the distance, realizing too late that their window had closed. Inside the vehicle, the atmosphere shifted. Miss Lian's fear slowly faded into relief. She turned to Gloria, eyes wide with questions. But Gloria simply gave a small smile. We'll explain everything at the safe house, one of the agents said. You're protected now. In the following days, Miss Lian's information was secured, her identity confirmed, and the missing documents traced. They were indeed meant for an international watchdog group targeting global corruption. Her quiet arrival had been deliberate until someone on the inside leaked her movements. Gloria, long retired from